All right. Hello, everybody. Please just give me one moment before I start. What I'm going to do is just kind of share this on my Instagram. So I'm just going to pull up a generic image from my phone. How about that one? It's a picture of me. And I'm going to say going live now. And then I will go on to YouTube and grab the link. So I believe I'm still at 0 people watching, so it don't matter right now. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see that far away. But let's lower this. Go to my channel. Go to live. And share. Copy link. Let's add the link in. Paste. Done. And share on Instagram. There we go. So I'm done. So what I wanted to do today, and where did I put my water? There it is. What I want to do today is just really just kind of play around with some maybe different pencils, different inks. I like, I don't know why it got blurry for a second, but I like my soft lead. So I'm going to just draw with a B today. And as for paper, I'm going to probably experiment depending on how much time I feel like streaming for. I normally will use either a Strathmore Bristol or a Canson Bristol. But I had a friend recommend the Deleter paper. I've never used it. I've actually used the Deleter inks. I have a 6 here. I believe I have a 2 somewhere, or I finished it, and I got their version of Pro White, and I love this. This is nice, but it's not waterproof. I ordered, I think it was a number 4, which is waterproof, so I could do some washes and stuff with it. And I've used a bunch of different inks. When I get to ink, I'm gonna play with this tonight. The Doc Martens. Let me bring the camera. The Black Star Matte. When I get to inking, I haven't used that one yet. This is one of my favorites. It is a carbon ink. Again, I don't think you can read the words. It's platinum carbon. It's a really good one. I also find that I enjoy the Sumi ink. This is a Sumi ink 60. So tonight's just going to be playtime. I got some other inks, but they're not like what it's about today, because I'm really going to play with the Doc Martens here and see if I like it. It's a new ink for me. But what I did find I thought was cool, and it can't hold any nibs anymore. When I was in college, this was the first pen holder I bought. It was oh, it's from the General Pencil Company. I don't think I ever knew it. Um, but I don't know if I'll ever get rid of it. It doesn't can't really hold a nib. But I don't know. I just really like it. I still like the way it feels. I have a few that are similar to it now. But I thought that was cool when I was cleaning my studio yesterday. I discovered that. Let me get this out here. Uh, this is my I have a B lead in here as well. Let me bring this down. One of the reasons I want to experiment tonight is because um, well, number one, I want to see what paper and inks I'm going to be using on an upcoming project. But um, I want to see how this paper takes stuff. But I want to just you know have fun. I don't know if I don't know, dudes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I really just want to have some fun with drawing and inking, and I tend to use this pen all the time. But I love regular pencils. I actually am a fan of just the regular general pencils, but I don't seem to have any near me right now. So let's just draw a couple of small things, and we'll see how this takes the ink with a brush with a pen. Um, so let's start here. I'm just gonna maybe draw a face, and this is what I was talking about. I wanted to experiment with my camera placement. I'm sorry, I zoned out for a moment. And I don't have my glasses. I can't see if you can see the pencils. Who's saying hello? Hey, Dylan. Um, so yeah, you can kind of see it. I'm just gonna do a quick face here, and later we'll test out the inks. So how's everyone doing tonight? Let's go with for his hair. We'll do something. Put it to the side. This pencil didn't sharpen as nicely as I would have liked it. Let me check out what some comments are saying here. Uh, yes, Dylan, I know you're now 30. Happy belated. I know you last Wednesday was your birthday. Um, no, tonight I'm just playing around and experimenting with this paper with some new ink. I want to see what it's like. Um, I'll do like a cartoon character over here, like a bear or something. Or, you know what? Not everything should be front on. I think I just got a notification on my phone. Uh, let's put him. Make him a little goofy, kind of a character. Uh, Another tooth over here. let's. All right, and we got a cartoon bear going in over here. Let's make that like that there. Let's do maybe, we'll just do these two for now. I'll try out different pens and see what they're like. Who's that? Hey D, good to see you. Um, yeah, since you just showed up, I'll just let you know I'm just experimenting with different ink, different paper tonight, just playing around. But what's funny is I've been drawing a lot more bears since last week. On my last live draw that I did last Wednesday night, I had one of the people watching was my friend Rob, and Rob, I was drawing my toilet bear, which I still have to post, I think. But I was drawing my bear that's in the toilet and everything, which seems to be something people, really enjoyed. And Rob suggested I do a comic with him, and I don't know if it was going to be that specific bear, but I always love drawing, cartoon animals. Bears, are one of my go-tos. And with bears being one of my go-tos, I was like, yeah, that could be a good idea. So I've been drawing a lot more bears lately and experimenting with kind of stories. There's nothing I have yet, but anyway, so tonight what I wanted to do was try out this ink. It is it's the Doc Martens Black Star waterproof India ink matte finish. I know they also have a high carb. And before I bought this, I watched a couple of videos of this and like people reviewing the ink, and I thought even though it might not be super, it's a dark black. If I was to, from what I understand, if I was to pile this on with a brush and paint over, I'm gonna have a really some dark areas there. But if it's just a light coating, it's going to maybe dry not so pitch black. It's not going to be a black. I just wanted to check one thing on this. That's not the pack of paper. This is the pack of paper. So a friend recommended this to me, and this is it's a B4 size, and says 135. 135. It says kg, so I guess kilograms. We do stuff here in pounds. They say this is for a heavier hand, someone who tends to ink heavy, and that is me. So let's open this up and give it a try. So what I'm noticing already when I'm looking at this, it doesn't have a large enough opening for me to stick my pen into. So I'm going to have to see if I have or actually I could try it with this. Let me see. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use this small one. I can get that one in. I'm just trying to get some ink on it. And it's okay if I waste some. Oh, that actually comes out nice. All right, let's give this a try, and I'll try a different pen probably for the bear. So trying to see, can you see it? What if I rotate it like that? Oh, that's actually not too bad. Then you can actually see it, my hand working. Do you need it brighter though? Or is that too, let me see. This freaking light is so old that it's so stiff. I don't know if it's washing it out. But let's give it a try here. Right? You know what I gotta say? The sound of a pen scratching into the paper like so is one of my favorite sounds. And you know what? I forgot to lighten this up with my kneaded eraser. So we'll check out how it erases after when it's this heavy. But I will do a you know, oops. I will do some kneaded eraser on the bear. And the ink, this pen holds ink pretty well here. I like that. Let me see. I think I got more comments. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry. I can't. I don't have my glasses on when when I see the computer. I just see a blurry um, spot. So maybe I'll take a little bit of a brush and darken in some of the areas here. But I'm liking the way I'm starting to lose some. For my first dip, which I actually dipped a couple of times because the first time I didn't go down far enough into the bottle to get any ink, but it held quite nicely. Let's see, how's that? Normally, I'd have a little extra, whether it's this size or another size next to me, a piece of the same paper that I would clean my, test my nib before I start using it. All right, let's come over here because I shouldn't have done that other side first. But sometimes I forget it. It feels like just go how I draw. Oh. I will say about the paper, I mean, it's not bad in the sense of what the heaviness of my inks here. Um, but I like it seems to weigh less than a Bristol. Whether it's Canson or Strathmore, and I like this light weight to it. Turning it around, just it feels easier. Ooh, that is a nice clean line right there. I like that. Doesn't have to always be scratchy. Wow. Let's get a line here. This will get a heavier line with the shadow I'll throw in. No, out of ink there. Okay, let's add a couple of little. Okay. Let's add a cheek in there, maybe a dimple. Oh, what do you, is that a dimple in the chin or no? Cleft, right? These are dimples. Let's get a little under there. Put a little eyelid on top there. And, all right. I'm going to give this a little clean. See if I can get some ink off of it. Some water. I'll give it a better cleaning later. So let's see if any comments popped up. Let me get my glasses on. No. Whoops. All right. This is going to need a much better, what's the word I'm looking for? A much better clean. I'll have to get some, maybe an alcohol, a little alcohol to run on it. All right. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes. Let's see, what brush or pen point do I want to use for the bear? I do like this one a lot, but I think this one gives me a thicker line, and I would like that on the outside, so I'll go with that. Now, this is the one I can't get into the ink bottle, so I should have a I'll just try it this way. Maybe I'll use no, that's a little small. Give me a second, guys. Thank you, Dylan. I'm just going to go through my painting drawer behind me and see if I got anything I could use kind of as a little inkwell. I don't think I do. I was just in here yesterday while I was cleaning and putting supplies away and whatnot. Nothing in there. Give me 1 second. Okay, you know what? This is the best I have, unless I take my Beetle Bailey shot glass, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to use the, what do you call it here, the eyedropper, to throw a few, throw a little ink. Let's get one more. So I have a little bit. Give me a second. So I can actually do a little dipping here. All right, let me make a little room on my table. Put that right there. Now let's see how this works out with the bear. Can't really dip too far into this, so I might have to. Ooh, I'm not really getting much ink at all. Let's see. Okay, let me see if that worked. And yeah. All right, I think I got enough on here. Oops. Already got some on me. Oh, I like this. It is a little thick. The line, maybe I should have tried the other. Oh, ran out of ink on that one there. Let's just start around here. Let's get thicker out to there. That's right. Oops. I'm out of. Let's say I might actually decide to use the rest of the paper I bought. You know, it was only like a $15 for the pack. I thought, hey, I'd use this as kind of some scrap paper if it's not good. But you know, I'm finding it to be pretty okay. You know, now it's not. You know, it's like I said, it's a. I believe I said B4 size. So a B4 is a is like what is that? I'm so bad with those conversions. But it's under 11 by 14. Um, I know that. I think the length is like 13 and change, almost 14, and uh, the width of it is, I want to say it's like not, you know, just under 10, like 9 3/4 or whatever, and but so that would, if I do use this, that would, I wouldn't be able to draw standard comic book size stories in this. And proportion wise, because I did the math on this, I just don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. It would be, to do as close as you want to traditional American comic book size, it would probably be around like a 6 by 9 or maybe a little under 9. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I'm surprised that it's as good as it is, you know? I really am. I also really am enjoying this ink. I know I said from the reviews I saw on it, it doesn't always, you know, I got to wait for it to dry, but I feel like this is a pretty nice black that I'm getting here. Yeah, if I'm going to use this, though, I'm definitely going to need to get some kind of inkwell, which means I either need to head over to Amazon and buy something, or maybe I'll go to on eBay and see if I can, because I like retro style stuff. So instead of buying something modern, maybe I can find some cool retro uh, style inkwell. I love that. Like I said, I love that type of stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to move this tooth right over here. And this one right here. Keep it in the same spot. And let's do the tongue. Of course. Just trying to see comments. Nope. Nope. This is not the way I want to be dipping my pen. It's almost like I'm rolling it around in the tray. Nope. Whoop. Almost spilled my ink. I got to make more room on this table. I tried cleaning it yesterday. I spent the whole day because I was getting ready for a show I did. I did an arts and crafts show I talked about last week on my stream last week, and it was a fun show. I'd do it again. But my studio was just completely a mess. So I said, let me go and clean it, and it's not fully done yet. It's lasted about maybe 5 minutes or so. But the stuff I have here, on my table, I just have a lot of stuff on here, and I'd really like to take care of it, So, hold on, I'm getting my glasses. I see comments popping up. What do we got? D, hey Gracia, looking good. Love your inks. Oh, thank you. It's funny. For years, I've always. Oh, there's my paper towel. I've always hated my inks. I feel they take away from what's it called? The emotion and the motion, the actual motion of my character. Like it loses a lot, and I think a lot of artists feel that way when they ink their work. And the truth is, I find that when I ink like this, or I'm inking by hand, especially as opposed to digital, my inks are so much better. I still don't think they're perfect, but I think they're a lot better. So thank you. I really appreciate the compliment, um, because they, being colorblind, I don't really care about my colors, but the inks I've always cared about, and I've never been happy with what I do. So I really appreciate that. All right. I think it's time. I think this guy's had enough time to dry. So I'm going to see how a kneaded eraser reacts, or this ink reacts to a kneaded eraser. So let's, which isn't too bad. I'm going to let that guy dry a bit. Did I smear a little? Oh, no, I didn't smear, but I don't want to go crazy because it's right in there. So let me get a different eraser. Whoa, okay. I'm trying to balance the ink. Let's go in right here. Oh, shoot. I think I just smeared some of the bear. I don't know how long it takes for this guy to dry, but where's my, where the hell's my brush? I thought I just had my brush on the table. That's my life. Sorry, I'm just looking. Oh, my brush was right here. Okay, well, we'll just use the paper towel here. Okay. While the bear is drying still, let's zoom in on this guy here and see. Can I come down further? I gotta hold it. My shelf isn't pushed into the, isn't attached to the wall. So it's just kind of loosely sitting. So if I don't hold on to it. So let's see. Focus on him here. Well, what do you guys think? I think it came out pretty decent. It's not my it's not the best. But I think the ink, oh no, maybe I did smear a little. I see a spot right there. Maybe I should have given it a little longer to dry. But I don't think it's bad. I mean, let's go mess it up now. I'm going to add some solid blacks in the area with a brush. But, and, I'll do the same on the bear where I color in his nose and stuff. But, like, I think I could come in. I guess not all the stuff came off here. Let's give it some more solid black in some areas here. We'll do a little on this side here. I don't want to touch the bear. There we go. Maybe closer to the ear here. We'll do the same on the other side. Let's give some closer to the ear. What's this? Oh, thank you. The bear is good. Thank you very much. Let's do a little right underneath the chin here. We'll go on both sides for a little bit. And I'll come down more on this side here. I think I went a little too far, but what I'll do is I want to get a little bit into the piece there. And if I do a little hatching here, that'll fix some of the stuff. All right, where's my dirty water? And now what do I do? What's this? Almost. Oh, that's much better. That's clean now. All right, I'm going to give the bear a few more minutes. But yeah, I don't think it's that bad. What if I do a little bit of this here? Yeah, the thing is, I should have drawn the bear lower, so I don't do anything here. Let's add a little bit of. Maybe a little back there. That needs to be filled in right there. Yeah, I think that works a little better with the hatching on there. So let's get, sorry, did it again. Paper towel. Paper towel is on my left side. Got to remember that. All right. Let me see. Any new comments? How many we got watching? We got a few regulars watching, and I appreciate everybody who is participating with comments and stuff. And if you're just watching and not participating, that's fine. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Because this is going to help me out with a lot of what I do. I mean, this paper, you know, where's my phone? Let me look up the official B4 size. I keep forgetting. Okay. Oops. B4 paper size. So according to this, I don't know if you can see my phone here, like read it, but it's, oh, geez. And what is that, a bug? Oh, there you go. Sorry, I went to what I was looking up on Lowe's earlier. I hit the back button accidentally. Let's keep going. So B4 is 9.8 by 13.9. So it's just under 10 by 14. Which isn't bad. I mean, we'd have to think about what it could scale down to, but I think, like I said, a 6x9, you know, or a little smaller wouldn't be too bad. And that's a great size for a book. My Whiz book, if you guys have seen me show it, or if you own it, which I hope you do, and if you haven't, you can go to Amazon.com and type in The Whimsical Whiz, and you'll find that book, and it's, I think, $12 on there. You know, that's a 6x9. So let's see. You ever plan on trying a comic strip with it? Do you mean the paper? I was thinking, if you're talking about the paper, that's actually one of the reasons I'm practicing and experimenting with it. There is a, you know, I mean, you know, traditionally, you know, when I was a kid, I don't know if it's changed because I haven't followed it. But standard drawing strip size was 4x13. That's what all like the websites and the books said. And when I was a kid growing up, like that was the standard. They said use that. So since it is under, you know, 14, and I could probably, you know, I could probably fit 2 strips on here if I do a strip format comfortably. I wouldn't mind doing a book format either with this, though. But I think I have always liked the strip format more than the comic book format. So I'll probably, you know, I'll think about doing that. But I you know, this paper, for how thin it actually excuse me, it's kind of thin. I don't know if you can tell. If I was to get, where's like this is something I've had for a while. I haven't used. It's an old Eon Prod Bristol. But like I don't know if you could tell looking at it on here, but the paper, this feels like there's at least 2 or maybe 3 of the deleter paper, but this takes ink beautifully. And as long, I guess, as you're not, like really playing with some, playing with some heavy amounts of, I would say, wet ink, meaning, you're piling in a large black area, or, you're throwing a heavy wash on it, which I'm going to experiment with too. I have a couple of pre-made washes, but I also have watercolor next to me, and I could probably throw a light watercolor on and see how that is. I wish I knew where my brush is. Just give me 1 second. Is it behind here? No, I thought it was right here. I usually keep it like right near me so that I can. That is so weird to me. Oh, wait, did I move it over here or throw it? Nah, whatever. It's time to use the hand, right? Or just tap. That appears to work. And where's the kneaded eraser? Let's get a few. I don't think I smeared on this one. I think I gave it enough time to dry. Let me see. I got to take my glasses off so I can see that. Just check in. But yeah. Also, my pencil, even though it was a B lead, which, I think most comic artists draw a little harder with their lead. But I've always liked the soft lead. Blame my animation background, What was I going to say? I think it was a little bit off in the sharpen. Like, I think there was like a crack somewhere, and I think it dug into the paper a little bit too much. I could see a line. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll move so the light, but right above his nose here, there's a. So I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna try to erase it a little more after I kind of fill in some areas here. Yeah. When I was younger, also, and I know I was saying I never was happy with my inks, I also rushed them. I didn't have patience, and it was one of those things where I always enjoyed the penciling, and I still do. I mean, penciling is my favorite part. But as I got older, and I've, been trying to re-practice certain skills and just go back to being more traditional than relying on the computer. I have to say I enjoy it. I know it takes longer. There's no undo button. I can zoom in to look closer at things. Like, there's a couple little lines now I went over in the tongue, so that's going to be a little white out later. But I'm finding inking very relaxing, like a very calming part of the process. It used to be the most stressful for me because I'm like, I can't mess up. But now I don't know. Maybe I stopped caring as much as I used to for the work. Like, I've always said, take your work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. And I dropped my paper towel somewhere. Let me get another one. And that's how I always was. And I think I was over serious when it came to my work. Now I'm at the point where I just am like, yeah, no, my work's important. I'll take it. I'll still take it seriously, but I can't stress like I used to. It'll get done, and if I stress, that's where I'm going to make mistakes. You know, so I really try to not stress anymore when I'm doing it. You know, and I think that's why I've started to enjoy inking more than I have in the past. Let me try to clean this off a little bit more. And Dee, to answer your question about the strip, I know I said I've it's one of the reasons I'm practicing um, or experimenting today. What I found, oh, not what I found. I've had a few different strip ideas for the longest time. So I'm working on a comic. I've been referring to it as a manga because it's kind of in that format, that style, and it's reminiscent of. Oh shoot! Just dropped a lot of stuff. It's reminiscent of like 70s, um, mecha, manga anime stuff. So I'm working on that, and that's something I'm going to start streaming as I work very soon. Let me just pick up what fell here. Oh, my colored pencils. Okay. And but I've had a lot of strip ideas. So there was this character I created a while back and I've started playing with him recently. And I think he'd make a great strip. It's an action adventure strip, but humorous. Um, Almost in the same vein of like a Rip Haywire. But he's not a soldier of fortune. He's kind of a treasure hunter slash he's Indiana Jones basically, but a little different. And the concept is he just I don't want to give away the concept. It's a fun concept. I will say this, but it takes a couple of things that I love, history and um, science and sci-fi and fantasy, mythology. It just kind of takes everything I love that I created, and it blends it into one story. And so, yeah, I wanted to see what happens. Let's see. I'm not getting any ink on me. No. So you know what? I'm gonna do this. I as I was cleaning my studio, like I said, I spent most of the day cleaning yesterday. I found my old what's this? It's a Winsor and Newton, and this was my travel stuff, so that's why my property of Michael Gracia thing is on here. But I haven't used it in years. It's what's it? The Cotman series, I think it's called, which I can't open right now, so maybe I won't do anything. But I was going to put a light ink wash on and see how it takes it, but maybe I'll just do a light watercolor. Now, this here is the watercolors, and here's the issue. They all fell out of the spacing that they were in originally, so I don't know what some of these colors are. So if I mess up, don't blame me. All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with my wife very soon, and I'm going to, I found an image of all the colors and where they're supposed to be, and I'm just going to reset them up, maybe find a way to glue them in or something, and then I'm going to label them somehow, and I'll just have the labels here of what they are. So I'm going to do that. And for today, I'll use, wow, that's been stuck in there for years. Let's not even touch that. Let's give me a different watercolor or something simple here. No, I don't want that. It's too light. Let's go with a big fat one here. All right, let's get a little clean water here. Uh-oh, there we go. All right. And we're just going to do a little thing. So I'm going to look for something that appears brown to me. Actually, you know what? This looks red. So if I do a very light um, color here, and I'm going to just do it right on the page. It's a little too red for me. What if I... Let's make this the dirty water, but for the watercolor, I don't want to mix it with my ink. Dirty water. Okay. Let's see if I throw a little white into it. Will it tone it down into a pink? Not really. Okay, let's try. And that's going to be a bit of a heavy amount of water there. So let's try. That looks too dark. Let's see. Are you a brown or a green? I don't even think you're in either family. You guys will have to tell me watching what colors I'm using here. Let's see. Can you be the burnt sienna? Oh, you're definitely some. I don't think you're burnt, right? You're more of a raw, right? Like a raw umber or something. Because the burnt sienna is darker, and that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. That looks like it might be a green because I see some yellow in it. Let's give this one a try. Let's see. It's like nothing came off on this one here. Ooh, I can't. Ooh. Yeah, it's paper's getting a little too wet. I don't think this paper is, I mean, you're supposed to be able to put an ink wash on it to my knowledge, but it's definitely not going to be able to handle watercolor, as you can see here. So let's forget the watercolor. I'll let these dry a little bit before I close it up. Let's put this over here for that to happen. But I'm looking forward to playing again with watercolor. But we can see, you can even see it went through a little bit somewhere. Was that maybe one of the inks? Or no, it's not wet. I don't know. But you can see how the paper is being affected. Let's see who. See you later, Dylan. So you can see how the paper is being affected by that. So what I would do, and let's try a little ink wash. This is I don't know what kind of ink I have in here. I made this a while ago, but let's let's get a little bit of water. So this is kind of a dark ink wash here. Yeah, you see, I don't know why they told me you could do an ink wash, though. You can see how the paper, it's coming through here. So you know what? I would not use this if I needed to do any kind of wash. I'd go to my Canson or my Strathmore for that. So what I'll do then is I'll take a smaller, I'll go back to this one I was using here, kind of like my Crow Quill, but not, I forget what it is. And maybe I'll add in some fur, you know, like some hatching to kind of add to his fur here. Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit. And I just don't want to get my hand. Yeah, screw it. You know, I'm taking the glove off because I don't want my glove wet. So if I get my hand a little wet, I still have to shower. So let's do a little bit of this here. What is that? There's a bug here that's so tiny. Probably just flew in through my window. Let's get that. Maybe a little bit over here. I think I want to do more in here, kind of add that fur pattern to it here. Let's get a little bit more. And I think what I'm going to do, and I should have done it with the paintbrush, is I want to add a heavier line underneath the chin. So let me see. Do I still have that brush around here? Yes, I do. Right. Let me just get a little bit. How's this brush? There we go. Let me just I'll take my glasses off because that screws me up. And I'm just going to do it a little bit darker here. Blend it in. I don't have to do the whole thing. I think something like that just makes the chin pop a little bit more. And let's get this back here. Let's get a little ink on here. And maybe I'll add a little bit, just a curved line for the tooth. Kind of show that it has some depth to it. And we could do the same for the tongue, just a very light. Something like that. And maybe let's just add a couple of hairs around the eye here. A couple. Yeah, I like that a lot now. Yeah. So here's my review of the deleter paper and of the ink, which ink did I use? Where did I put it? So I could show it off again. Where did I put the ink? Is this it? Yeah. So tonight I experimented with deleter paper and the Doc Martens Black Star Matte ink. It's a waterproof ink. You know, I will try this with the deleter number 4 ink. It hasn't come yet, but I did put an order in for that because that's supposed to be the only deleter ink that is waterproof. So I want to experiment and see how that one works. But here's my review of the deleter paper. This is, let me get the thing out again. So like I said, I had this recommended to me by a friend. It is you know what, let's just pull the camera back and we'll look at these side by side here. It is deleter, okay. It's deleter comic book paper, ruler A, type 135 B4. Now the 135 is the weight, so I'm assuming it's kilograms because it says kg. I don't know what that converts to in American weight, but there's a 135 and I forget what the other number, like I think 115. But the 135 is meant for someone with a heavier inking hand. At least that's what I read, because my friend who told me about this paper, they were like, no, it's really good. You got to try it out. So I did some research into it. And there are two numbers on there. I don't remember the other one. Like I said, I think it's 115 or 112 or whatever. And it says ruler A. So if it has a ruler, it means it has little guidelines, which I know you can't really see. I'm just trying to turn to see if I can get you to see the guidelines on the screen here. But it's ruled out here. I don't know what color it is. I don't think it's a light blue. It might be a different color, but I don't know. It's got like the non-photo blue stuff around, but I don't know if it's blue or not. It's very light. It's lighter than if you get the Canson or the Strathmore pre-ruled stuff. So, you know, it's not difficult to see, but like I said, it's lighter. Then, and so you're drawing at a much smaller size, because remember, this is 9.8 by 13.9 something, I think. So it's basically a 10 by 14. I drew with a B lead pencil. I used my Tombow pencil. Normally I draw mechanical, but I felt like just practicing with experimenting with a regular. And by the way, this Pentel Graph Gear, this is Graph Gear 800. I don't know if they make the 800s anymore. There's another one they make that's taken over the place of it. I find it to be the best mechanical pencil with the grip. I've always used Pentel mechanical pencils for years. This was the one I used. 0.5 millimeter Pentel P205. This was my pencil since I was since like 6th grade. All right. And I've been out of school for a very long time now. It's still a great pencil. I recommend to people, but I needed something. I felt like it got to be too thin for me. So I needed something with a little thicker barrel here. And I liked that it had these little grips on it. So I tried it out, and I ended up buying like 7 of them. And I fill each one with a different lead. But and they're all labeled except for this one, because I know this is my go-to pencil. This is the pencil I use basically to draw everything, and it's always going to have B lead in there. So if I have like my H leads or a non-repo blue lead or whatever, they're all I have a little label I put in, like sticker I put on all of them. Anyway, I know I sidetracked there, but that's what I drew, and it was this Tombow B lead pencil. Anyway, I experimented with a couple of different pen nibs with the Black Stars Doc Martin, or Dr. P.H. Martins, if you want to be technical. Black Star Matte. There is a high carb. I haven't tried that out. It's supposed to be darker from my understanding, but I don't know. I feel like this is fine. I drew this guy, I drew this bear. I did them each with different pens. Although the fur and hatching on here was done by the same pen I used on the guy. I feel they dried very nicely. I think the ink took well. It didn't bleed. It didn't smear. I'm going to try other inks on it, but tonight was just this one. And this will be my test page. I was told I can do ink washes on here, and I tried that this piece right here specifically is the ink wash, and it didn't work. But I also tried some watercolor at different heavinesses of wetness, and yeah, it doesn't take it. So it's not, it could take a good amount of black here, but it can take water. So whoever told me that, I know my friend didn't tell me. He doesn't work that way. So I might have read it somewhere. It was a lie. And I got to say, it's not bad. Like I'm trying to reflect it in the light to see how matte it is, and I don't know if you can. Let me turn this light away. I don't know if it'll do anything. Oh, it's darkening it, but let's see. Just using this light on my side here, I don't. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of a reflection in some spots. Like there's a little bit in his head right here, and a little bit in the mouth. And I don't know if that's the way I put it down, but I feel it's pretty matte. You know. So the shine from the light isn't that bad. Um, yeah, I think you know what? If I was to do a comic strip, or even just do a comic book on here, I mean, I don't need to print at actual comic book size. I don't mind printing at a digest size, like almost like the standard manga is. I don't mind even printing a little bigger, like a 6x9 or something, and scaling that to fit. Now I'd have to do the measurements. I'd have to look it up to see what I could do, like what it would scale to properly. But I would think I could do something in the 6x9 range. And a standard comic's like what 6 point whatever by 10 point something. So it's not too different. It's a 6x9 is like a standard book that you would read. So I like it. I'm not angry with it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna try my platinum carbon ink, which I really enjoy. I know it's so dark you can't even see it here. But what I like to do is I like to actually leave it open for at least 24 hours before I ink with it. So I'll open it up tonight and leave it out on my drawing table so I can experiment with it. The Deleter Black #6, I really do enjoy the way Deleter inks work. I think they're some of the blackest inks. So I say the Deleter inks give this one a little run for its money. So there's competition here. This is supposed to be the blackest black you can get, but I really feel the Deleter inks are really nice. But I ordered a #4. This is a #6. I had or still have, I don't know. I couldn't find it. A #2. And I think they all, cover very well, but #4 I read is the only one that's waterproof. So you may want to consider if you want the Deleter ink to get the #4. This ink here, the Sumi ink, I really like it, but again, not waterproof. But it comes out, it has a nice black on there. And then the other one here that I haven't really played much with. This was recommended to me by another friend, and I've only used it once, so I can't really talk about it. It's a Pilot ink. It just says Pilot Black. It's more for what do you call it? Like fountain pens, from my understanding. Like it's thin enough that it could be put into. You know what? Hold on. I have my pen nib here. I haven't used. Let's give it a little quick try here. We'll give it a quick try. See how it is. All right. So, wow. Like, if you look at it here, right? Let me put it down. From what I can tell, it's so thin. It's in the back of the pen. I'll bring this down here. It's in the back of my pen, but I don't see it on the front at all. There's just a little tip. So, I mean, it's coming in nice and black, but it looks like it's bleeding on this paper. So I would not use this on this paper specifically. I would use this. Even if I ink quickly, it still bleeds. So I would not use this, at least on this paper. I would experiment. I think I experimented on a Canson paper, and I know it did not bleed on there, but it just wasn't something. I think I find it to be a little thin, you know. of ink, but it comes out nice. It's a very flowy ink, I'm out of it. Let me just kind of clean this off a little bit. And where's my paper towels? Beautiful. Give me a second here. Nope, not there. Huh. I don't know what I do with my paper towels now. So is life. That is my life there. Okay. I'll clean that in a few minutes. But yeah, the what ink did I? Oh, the Black Star, the Doc Martens Black Star ink, great ink. Dries very nice, very matte. It does give off a little bit of a shine in the light, but I don't think it's bad. It flows nicely. This paper is great for it here. I think this would be great paper to do only black and white work, nothing wet. All right. And when I mean nothing wet, I mean no washes, no watercolor, none of that. Just do your pen and ink on it. Excuse me. And again, but it's not American standard size. So just know that. But again, last thing I'll say this, when I was a kid growing up, and any book you read about comic strips, they said it was 4 by 13. So this is under 14. And I would probably use the side, which I haven't experimented on, that doesn't have the rulers, or you can buy these without rulers. So these don't get in your way while you're drawing. But because this is a 9 point something and you're doing 4 by 13, you can fit 2 strips on here. And I think that would be great. I would totally experiment with it. And it's cheaper. I think I paid for this pack of 40 sheets. I think I paid $12, maybe $15 at the most. So I can get 2 strips. It takes ink very well. And I'm paying $15 for 40 sheets of paper when you get a standard Bristol Strathmore Canson, and you're paying for 25 sheets or something, or 25 sheets, and you're paying close to $20+ for them. So I think it makes sense financially. I'm not saying this is the go-to and the most perfect paper, but I think for someone starting out, this is fantastic. And I'm gonna go write my friend that recommended this paper to me and tell him I like it. And thanks for the recommendation, because I think I will use it for some of my work. Anyway, you guys, I have been bothering you now for almost an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you all for watching, for tuning in. I'll be back. I'm gonna start live streaming more again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to do it in the morning, because I'm awake, early morning. But I think it might be some evenings or even afternoons. I'll figure out a schedule. But I still got to use a little Pro White on here. I'll experiment. I'll do one with the. By the way, I'll do one with traditional Pro White and one with the Deleter White. I think those are the which I like the Deleter White a lot. I think it covers great. So we'll I think covers better than Pro White, but I'll experiment and see how it is. Anyway, yeah, I will be doing more of this. I hope you guys will continue to watch. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it, and I will. I'll be back soon. All right, you guys. Oh, and by the way, my guest this week, I haven't announced it yet, but fantastic artist. I'm really excited to talk to him. Make sure Wednesday night, 9 p.m. you tune in to Get in Tune right here on YouTube or Facebook, depending where you're watching. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye.